we're going to start with the piano. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and you start, and then I'll go like this later, and then you can cut, and we'll do the transition later just so they don't see this stuff. Okay, ready? Oh, here we go. Amy Tan here. It's great to be here at your sales conference, and I'm really, really happy to be with Echo, an imprint of HarperCollins. And it's great to be with Dan Halpern because he's just a really great editor, and working with Michael McKenzie and Wendy and Rupert Murdoch and all of you, the sales force, who I know you're going to really get the Valley of Amazement out there to the readers. I know it's been a long time since I've been published, 7 years, and that's because I've been busy writing an opera and doing things like, being a concert pianist and other passions. And I know maybe my readers are not going to remember me, and the market's changed because of e-books and, women getting older and things like that. Dan wanted me to say a few things about the book, and I'm the worst person in the world to talk about what the book is about. I need to do the joke. It's about 500 pages. But I think what we should do is have Dan tell you a few sentences, and you can use that when you go to the bookstores and things like that. So, but I did want to say a few things. There are concerns. You don't have to say this to anybody, a little background stuff. And one of them is, I really do think it's a literary novel. But I have this feeling somebody might think it's a sex novel because there is this Kindle Singles that is out there on Amazon, and Rules for Virgins. And it is kind of part of the novel, but it's not representative, but people might think it's about sex. I don't want people to think I'm doing the rip-off, 50 Shades of Grey, 50 Shades of Tan, that kind of thing. There is a lot of sex, but that's because it takes place in a courtesan house, and they didn't playing ping pong or anything. And there might be actually too many sex scenes. We're going to look at cutting some of those out. But I did a lot of research, and so when you look at that, like 50 positions and a little aphrodisiac kind of stuff and little tools, that was not me. That's research, okay? And I really have a concern because people think all my books are autobiographical. So the other thing is, I don't want people to think it's romance. And I know people like romance novels, but this is a literary novel. And the book does have romance. There's, these guys are sensitive. Later on, they're insensitive. Not like my husband, who's doing this 40 years together. Hi, Lou. And the other thing is historical. And I know people like the historical novels. This is literary, not historical. There is history. 1897, 1941, all that, some abdication of the emperor, a couple of riots, gangsters, pandemic, start of World War II, but it's not historical. I'm not doing a lesson, and I say that because I don't want people to be disappointed, thinking you're going to get historical. I don't think it's a mother-daughter saga. I've always hated that term anyway. It's really about identity. It is literary, as I said. I have, for example, Walt Whitman poems in there, quoted. And I also wrote my own poems, but, the reader knows they're bad poems. And, of course, I know, so that kind of knowledge makes it a literary novel. And I just want to say the reason why it took so long, besides, playing the piano, is that about halfway through, I found these photos of my grandmother, and she'd always been known as this very traditional woman. And the photos kind of shocked me because they were like this, which I talked to some academics and everything, and I'd never say 100% she was a courtesan, but unless she was standing here saying I was a courtesan. But that's what got me interested in the whole courtesan setting and everything. But, this is not biographical, not autobiographical. Anyway, I think that's it. It's a literary novel, and I really, really appreciate your supporting the book. I'm going to be out there helping in whatever way we can, and I hope we meet soon. Okay, thanks. Bye. Okay, I think we're going to have to do that last bit again to sound more sincere. So we can edit that later. And you know how to edit, don't you?